Picture this. You're alone in your car, stuck in traffic. Your lips are moving. You're gesturing with your hands. You're having a full conversation with absolutely no one. A driver in the next lane catches you mid-sentence. You immediately stop, embarrassed, pretending to sing along to the radio. But here's the thing, that person judging you, they do the exact same thing. Every single day, you have approximately 4,000 words worth of internal dialogue racing through your mind. That's a 20-minute TED Talk happening inside your head. Every hour you're awake. And sometimes, those words spill out. Sometimes, you become your own audience. The question isn't whether you talk to yourself. The question is, why do we all pretend we don't? The universal secret. Here's what most people won't admit. Self-talk isn't just normal. It's one of the most sophisticated tools of human consciousness. Think about Albert Einstein. While developing his theory of relativity, he would pace around Princeton, muttering equations to himself, having full arguments with invisible opponents. His colleagues thought he was losing his mind. Turns out, he was reshaping our understanding of the universe. Or consider Maya Angelou. She would rent a hotel room just to write, and spend hours reading her work aloud to herself, testing every word, every rhythm. She called it listening to the music of language. The average person thinks talking to yourself is a sign of loneliness, or worse, insanity. But the extraordinary person understands something different. Self-talk is how genius thinks out loud. You see, when you talk to yourself, something remarkable happens in your brain. The Broca's area responsible for speech production connects with the Wernicke's area responsible for understanding language. You literally become both the speaker and the listener, the teacher and the student, the question and the answer. It's not crazy, it's cognitive doubling. The 3 types of self-talkers. Not all self-talk is created equal. There are 3 distinct types of people when it comes to this internal dialogue, and which one you are might surprise you. Type 1. The silent processor. These people keep it all inside. Every thought, every decision, every worry, it stays locked in their mind. They're the ones who look calm on the surface, but have a hurricane of thoughts underneath. They process internally, judge internally, solve internally. The strength? They're incredibly self-contained. The weakness? Sometimes thoughts need air to breathe. Type 2. The occasional ventilator. This is most of us. We keep it inside until we can't. Until we're alone in the shower, rehearsing that argument we had 3 days ago. Until we're cooking dinner, narrating each step like we're hosting our own cooking show. We let it out in bursts, in private moments, when no one's watching. Type 3. The conscious narrator. These are the rare ones who've learned to use self-talk as a tool. Athletes do this. You'll see LeBron James talking to himself before a free throw. Serena Williams coaching herself between points. They're not crazy, they're programming their performance in real time. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary isn't whether you talk to yourself. It's whether you do it consciously or unconsciously. The psychology behind the voice. Let's get scientific for a moment. When psychologist Lev Vygotsky studied children in the 1,930 seconds, he noticed something fascinating. Young children constantly narrate their actions out loud. Now I'm putting the block here. Now I'm making it tall. Adults told them to quiet down, to keep those thoughts inside. But Vygotsky realized this wasn't immature behavior. This was sophisticated cognitive development in action. What happens is this: between ages 3 and 8, that external speech doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It becomes your inner voice. The same voice that's listening to these words right now. The same voice that just said, "That's true," or "I don't know about that." But here's where it gets interesting. Research from the University of Michigan found that the way you talk to yourself matters more than you think. People who refer to themselves in the third person during self-talk saying, "John needs to calm down," instead of "I need to calm down," show better emotional regulation and make better decisions under pressure. It's called psychological distancing. When you become the narrator of your own story instead of the main character drowning in it, everything changes. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, did this in his journal, what we now call meditations. He would write to himself in the second person. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this: and you will find strength. He wasn't going insane. He was going sane. The dark side and the light. But let's be honest, not all self-talk is helpful. There's a dark side to this internal conversation. Sometimes, that voice becomes your worst enemy. It replays failures on loop. It catastrophizes futures that haven't happened. It whispers you're not good enough at 3 a.m. when you can't sleep. The average person is terrorized by their inner critic. They have approximately 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and 80% of them are negative. That's like having a pessimistic roommate living in your head, commenting on everything you do. But the extraordinary person learns something crucial. You can change the conversation. Muhammad Ali didn't just talk to himself, he programmed himself. "I am the greatest," he would say over and over before he ever won a championship. People laughed. They called him arrogant. But he understood something. The story you tell yourself becomes the story you live. The weak let their self-talk happen to them. The strong make their self-talk work for them. The unexpected benefits. Here's what nobody tells you about talking to yourself. It's actually a sign of higher intelligence. Studies from Bangor University found that people who talk to themselves show better cognitive performance. When you verbalize your thoughts, you organize complex information better, remember things more clearly, make decision faster, reduce anxiety more effectively. Think about it. When you lose your keys, what do? You walk around saying, "Keys, keys, where are my keys?" That's not random. Your brain is literally using audio feedback to enhance visual searching. You're doubling your processing power. Or when you're learning something new, the best students don't just read silently, they explain concepts out loud to themselves. They become their own teacher. Einstein called this the rubber duck method, explaining your problem to an inanimate object until you solve it yourself. The ordinary person is embarrassed by their self-talk. The extraordinary person weaponizes it. The practice of conscious dialogue. So how do you transform from an unconscious self-talker to a conscious one? First, notice your patterns. When do you talk to yourself most? Is it when you're anxious, excited, alone? Pay attention to your triggers. Second, change your pronouns. Instead of, "I'm so stupid," try, "You're learning something new." Instead of, "I can't do this," try, "Your name has handled harder things before." Third, make it physical. Pace while you think out loud. Gesture with your hands. Write it down. The body and mind are not separate, they're dance partners. Vincent van Gogh wrote in his letters about walking through fields, talking through his paintings before he ever touched a canvas. Nikola Tesla would walk through Budapest parks, reciting poetry while visualizing inventions. They weren't just thinking, they were performing their thoughts. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. We're all walking around having secret conversations with ourselves, pretending we're not, while judging others for doing the exact same thing. But maybe it's time we stopped hiding it. Maybe it's time we recognize self-talk for what it really is. Not a bug in human consciousness, but a feature. Not a weakness, but a superpower. The next time you catch yourself having a full conversation alone, don't stop. Lean into it. Make it conscious. Make it powerful. Make it work for you. Because at the end of the day, the most important conversations you'll ever have are the ones no one else can hear. The question now is, what are you going to tell yourself after this video ends? I want to know what's the strangest conversation you've had with yourself. When do you catch yourself talking out loud? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's normalize the most human thing we all do, but never talk about. Remember, you're not crazy for talking to yourself. You're crazy if you're not listening.